December 2018, CROSSFIRE Stars begins a new fight. CFS 2018 will gather 24 top teams from 11 regions around the world in Taitung and Nanjing, China for Project S. December 4th to 6th, the group stage matches, the tournament stage quarterfinals, and semifinals will take place in Taitung. December the 8th, event matches for CROSSFIRE HD featuring top teams will be awaiting in Nanjing. December the 9th, the CROSSFIRE Legends tournament along with the CROSSFIRE final matches will determine the CFS 2018 World Champions. Guns are locked and loaded, and players are ready for an intense clash. CROSSFIRE Stars 2018, together in Taitung and Nanjing, China. Together, roaring with enthusiasm inside the arena of battle. Together, making history to become the true legend of CROSSFIRE.
This is our, I think, my 12th time here in China.
Well, our team has been to China 3 times in the past year.
Наша команда была больше, чем 7 раз в Китае.
Feels so good to come back here again.
Практиковались, играли и чувствуем себя более уверенно, чем обычно.
I would say in the groups, we're looking most forward to playing Are You Legends?
Que este año estamos más fuertes que nunca.
Our main goal here in the tournament is to become the champion and bring the title to the Philippines.
I like duck.
Rice of chicken.
My favorite Chinese food is wanmenji.
Hot pot.
Our favorite food is hot pot.
Los chicken noodles.
Tiongkok CFS 2018.
CFS 2018.
We're coming!
CFS 2018, wir sind hier.
CFS 2018.
CFS 2018.
We are coming.
CFS 2018, estamos chegando.
CFS 2018, estamos chegando!
CROSSFIRE Stars, мы идем. CFS 2018, vamos!
我是中国赛区的选手林肯，我在队伍里面担任的角色是断后和辅助。穿火线这个项目打职业已经打了8年了。
Hi, I'm Kart from Execration team from the Philippines. I'm the captain of the Execration and I've been playing for 8 years in CROSSFIRE.
Nama saya Hamzah, saya berasal dari Indonesia. Posisi saya di tim sebagai leader di tim. Saya bermain CROSSFIRE profesional dari tahun 2013.
I play CROSSFIRE because a lot of people in the Philippines playing CROSSFIRE. So when I see the CROSSFIRE and I hook the playing for CROSSFIRE and I play.
Awalnya saya bermain CROSSFIRE itu mencoba untuk bermain game baru dari game saya yang sebelumnya. Bermain CROSSFIRE itu saya bercoba untuk berkompetisi dan sampai sekarang saya akhirnya bermain dengan berprestasi seperti ini.
最开始是在家里面嘛，然后穿火线内测的时候，我有一些好的哥们儿和同学在玩，通过他们在玩这个游戏，然后我才开始知道这个游戏，然后我才跟他们一起玩的。
I think it changed my life because when you win in every tournament of CROSSFIRE, you have money. So I think it changed my life. CROSSFIRE changed my life.
Saya merasa mungkin lebih banyak teman di permainan ini. Saya lebih merasakan bekerja bersama-sama dengan teman juga. Bagaimana menjadi tim yang lebih baik.
信任吧，这款游戏是一款团队游戏，然后我们5个人在团队里面扮演着各种角色嘛。这个团队一起去参加比赛，必须要5个人相互信任， 然后这样的话才能就是说比赛才可以胜利。包括现实里面5个人生活在一起，有很多细节啊，要互相包容队友啊，或者说他们来包容我的一些不好的一点。所以说我觉得这个游戏，让我学会了特别多的东西。我在川永燕里面打了这么多年吧，然后从一个小孩儿打到现在也26、7岁了嘛。我衷心的希望这款游戏越来越好，我们大家越来越好。
Mungkin di tahun-tahun berikutnya turnamen seperti CFS ini lebih diperbanyak mungkin karena di Indonesia sendiri turnamen sebesar ini hanya 1 tahun 1 kali seperti itu. Mungkin bisa ditambahkan.
I think for me, CROSSFIRE is, thank you CROSSFIRE, because CROSSFIRE changed my life.
Hello and welcome back. It's day number 1 here at CFS 2018. And well, gentlemen, it's been a bit of an interesting day so far. Not too many surprises perhaps in results. Maybe one outlier there, but so far so good. This next match though, that's going to be interesting for me because I'm not sure who's going to come out here on top. And you've been the one coming out with some odd predictions, but as we push our way through here, we're going up. It's KOWAI up against Flipside. And for me, both of these teams have potential for upsets here in 2018.
Well, like we were saying in the green room as well with our talent manager, you know, KOWAI didn't win a single match last time they were here, so they'll be having they have a lot to prove. So look, I don't know. I really could go either way for me. I think this will be a very close one. Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. You're not sure. All right, we'll work our way through
Let's
it.
work our way through
We'll work
it.
our way
I'll
through
get
it.
back to you at the end.
Yeah. I don't want you to lock it in yet anyway.
No,
to be
it's
honest.
too early?
It is way too early.
Oh,
yeah.
well, in that case, no.
We're okay.
No.
Yeah, that's something that Ian would do. Both these teams had pretty good results in 2016 last year. A little bit different. What's it going to look like in 2018? What are the considerations here for both these lineups?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of experience on both teams. Obviously, KOWAI, the roster that came third in the CFS 2016 Grand Finals. We saw them last year as well, and they've actually come through this year with an unchanged roster from what we saw last year. But they didn't have an amazing performance last year. I mean, they did make it out of groups, but they didn't go too much further than that. The same can really be said for flip side. They have some experience there. They've got some players that have been around for quite a long time. But I think that all of the changes that we have actually seen come across for that roster have really gutted them in a sense. We've seen, in my eyes, their two best players have gone to the Pentasports roster. So I don't necessarily think that this Flipside roster is as strong as what we saw last year. I mean, they still should be a fairly reasonable matchup.
They've
here
still
for
got the
KOWAI.
2 stars. They've still got 7 and no, Dennis. I was going to say for
okay.
me, Dennis was a standout last year. Do you remember I was tipping Flipside for the upsets all last year?
Yeah, so was I, and I was disappointed. Maybe that's why I'm going harsh all in on them.
You are a little bit
right?
harsh. But look, if ever they were going to make it out of groups, it's 2018. They're in Group A. One of the teams isn't here. They need to win this game, and then they know who they're going up against Q9, right? So you have the most knowledge of anyone else, and the team is the group is probably the easiest of the groups as well.
Yeah, I don't disagree. For Flipside, this is their year to kind of bounce back. We know that they came second in 2016. Great performance from them there, and I think that's why a lot of the expectation was on them last year to have a good performance.
That's it, right?
Similar to what we've been talking about for Everteam this year.
Yep.
But they didn't perform last year, and then now they want to bounce back, have a better performance here. They're a team that's been around for a long time, or a name certainly in CROSSFIRE that's been around for a long time.
And they know what they did wrong, and they know what caused them to go down that path where they didn't get a single victory.
Yeah.
So I doubt they'll go down that path again. Like we talked about, they've got that Group A. However, you do have Flipside, a pretty good team. Then you also have Q9, like we were saying.
Yeah.
So, they're very difficult. Someone's going to have to go out. All 3 of those teams, I think, are very good.
It's going to be a bit of a tough one. I suspect this particular game will be quite close. I'd be looking for like a 10-8, 10-7 again, similar to what we saw in the last game. But it's got to start somewhere. Obviously, they come into this, they know what map they're going to play. We talk about preparedness. You can't, it doesn't get any easier than this in terms of preparation for game number 1. You know what you're going to face.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like it's a world beater or anything. Neither of these two teams coming into this match are saying, oh, we're against a team that would be expected to win the competition or expected to go really deep in the competition.
Yep.
I don't think anyone is under any illusions that Flipside or KOWAI is necessarily going to be the best team here. But obviously that's a bit nicer to start off with than going up against, like, for example, for Pentasports, going up against Super Valiant, the two-time running champion. So it's a bit of an easier run into the competition for both of these two teams, and that obviously is going to aid them, especially when it comes to Flipside. I think in their case, with all the roster changes that they have been having to bring these new guys into the CFS sort of pressure.
You've got to assume when there is a roster change, though, it's an upgrade. You can't ever think that someone's going to go to the CFS Grand Final with a weak roster. You make a lineup change because you need a better lineup. And so I think Flipside's going to be stronger than ever.
Or you make a lineup change because Penta took 2 of your players.
Well, that's always a possibility as well. But, you have that honeymoon period where you go through, revisit all your strategies, change things up. It could make them a stronger team.
Definitely could.
Yeah, well, as we said, last year probably wasn't their year, but 12 months is a very long time. There's a lot that you can do, you can adapt, you can improve. And I suspect the pressure from last year, they put the pressure on themselves now to come into 2018. They've qualified again, they're here, right? That's the first step in the process. And now, as we said, this is, for both of these teams, probably the best opportunity that they're going to get to make their way through to the quarterfinals. You really couldn't ask for more than what they get here, knowing even if you lose this game, you automatically win your lower bracket match.
game. That's correct, yeah. So they play the one less game, but I don't think it changes a whole lot. It's still going to be very difficult when they come up against that opponent, whether it be Q9 or a rematch against KOWAI, if it is Flipside or whoever, you know what I mean? It's either a rematch or it's someone you haven't versed yet. Yeah. And I got to say, I'd rather a rematch.
Yeah? Would you?
Well, if you're the losing team, you definitely do. I suppose the map would be different in this case, though. So there is that
Yeah.
sort of consider. But at least you may kind of get a bit of an understanding of your opponent and have an idea of what you need to do to beat them. Or you may have just not executed your play style correctly.
Yeah.
And you want a second crack at it. Maybe second time's the charm.
I'm getting the impression here. I just want to touch on it now. I'll let you off the hook before, Ian. Are you suggesting that you feel that Flipside is the team to beat in this matchup?
I want to go for them again just because I do really enjoy Seven and Dennis. I thought they were standout players for me last year. I really thought they were great players. So coming up against KOWAI, we had a lot of faith in KOWAI last year. They didn't really deliver for me, so I guess they're on the list. And therefore, I'll back Flipside on this one.
Fair enough. Well, we're taking a look at Team KOWAI right now, the stars from Latin America. We see them consistently here at CFS finals, and they've made it through CFS 2018 for them.
So, I mean, for me, KOWAI standouts were Clarence and Flitch last year, but at the same time, it really was the Clarence show, actually. So they'll have to have adjusted that coming into this one. Alijo on the Orm. So he's the big sniper man that everyone's going to have to worry about. We could see how much impact the snipers have on this, especially with like Elegant, the way that he was able to open up bomb sites with it. So yeah, looking at this KOWAI roster, they look pretty chill. I know for guys that could potentially go out without winning a game.
And they're the Latin American champions. They've won the Latin American Championships 3 years running. So look, they're no slouches at all, right? So they're here to represent their region. Yep. This is the first step in that process.
Yeah, so I think Clarence there on the screen, he's the one that's really going to have to step up here and continue to be as good as he was last year. And if the rest of the guys can just band around Clarence and try and get the job done together as a team, I think, they look pretty comfortable,
yeah,
don't they?
They do look pretty chill.
I mean, look, if you're up against Flipside, and Jordan, if you're going to say Flipside are a weaker outfit because their best players have gone to Penta, well, then you've got to be pretty confident. You've got to be happy with your draw. You know, the other team hasn't rocked up, so that's one less game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do seem very confident, very calm, as opposed to what maybe we've seen earlier.
Oh, they're definitely the best team within their region, Ben. Like you said, multiple years in a row they have been. And back to back.
Yeah.
But I think it's a different case when it does come to the international competition. Obviously, for KOWAI, this is the first step of many in this particular tournament, and they have made deep runs in CrossFire Stars before, but whether or not they're going to be able to do it again, I guess it starts off against Flipside. And as Ian said, this roster still, even despite having a few changes coming through from last year, has still got some stars there, has still got a lot of experience there as well. So I don't think they're going to be a pushover by any means.
No. Ian, talk to me about Seven. He is the player, right, for Flipside Tactics. He's got the experience. Does he have enough? Can he lead this newer roster?
Well, I think he can. And to be honest, I mean, he was the star player for me and the captain last year. And I feel like if there were any changes, that's his opportunity as well to say, look, I want this guy. This guy is going to listen to me. He's going to do as he's told, And so, as the sniper for the team.
Look at that love heart. That's for you.
Oh, was it? He's doing it wrong, man. That love heart. That love heart is so 2017. But there's Seven there, keep it quiet. I'm the captain and the sniper. So he really was delivering on all fronts last year. And if he's been able to choose two new recruits that are going to listen to everything he says, then why wouldn't they be stronger?
Yeah, I guess there are definitely pros and cons. Do you think that if he'd been able to come through with the same roster as last year that he would have stuck with it? Or do you think
I think he would have made changes. I remember he was pretty upset on the bus ride home. So I think the changes are for the better for these guys. He's got what he's wanted, hopefully, and see how they go. But there was definitely a lot of problems with Flipside last year. They did not perform up to scratch.
Yeah, I mean, even not just internally, I guess with the roster or whatever it may have been, just looking at the results compared to what the expectation was of Flipside, I think there definitely needed to be changes, or it was inevitable that changes were going to be made. So no real surprises to, again, see them back this year, but also to, again, see a bit of a different face for the Flipside.
And it's interesting to see how strong Penta were, with the players that were in Flipside who caked last year. So coming into this year, the rest of the Flipside boys will be wanting to put in a good show.
So, Jordan, your prediction?
I'm going to go with KOWAI this time. I do think that having those 5 core players through from last year, even despite the fact that it wasn't an amazing performance from KOWAI, they definitely have the caliber of players I think that can get the job done today against Flipside.
Ian, to confirm for you?
Flipside.
Flipside?
Yep.
One Flipside one KOWAI. For me, it's a difficult decision to make, isn't it? Like
No. Look, it's easy, really. One or the other.
Well, let's not forget who predicted Penta for the last map.
Yeah, well, no, that was, to be fair, Jordan, that was almost a very good prediction.
That was close, mate.
Like, I want to give Ian a half mark for that.
Close enough is not good enough, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I want to give him a half mark. For me, I think Flipside will come out ahead. I think it will be close.
My man.
I'm hoping for them that their changes, even though, you know, they've lost a couple of experienced players, new blood, you know, sometimes that can be enough.
Exactly.
Opportunity to be here. When you've seen a team come to a few finals in a row, sometimes you don't take it for granted, but it doesn't have the same necessarily impact on you to see a couple of new players come through, give them a chance to experience what this is like.
As we saw with some other lineups that have been around for eons that didn't change, eventually you phase out and you aren't up to date with it. So you need to keep, I think you need to keep changing your lineup if you aren't getting success.
Well, guys and girls, it's time to get into our next matchup of the day. It's KOWAI up against Flipside Tactics Group A. Gentlemen, let's get into the action.
Big match for both of these two teams. Always good to start off with a win. And not any different in Group A when there's even one less team that you have to go up against. So
one less win.
Yeah, one less win that you have to worry about. But here we go. Flipside and KOWAI to kick things off. Flipside will start off on the attack.
Favorite map, Jordan?
See how this one does play out. Dennis leading the charge, having a peek in toward middle. Does not see a whole lot. A little bit of a return back to spawn for Flipside as they're just going to rotate backwards and forwards.
Are you still going to stick with KOWAI now that you know the map? Because I feel like this is a very heavy map for Flipside.
No, I'm going to stick with KOWAI.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stick to see whether or not it is the usual stars that stand up here in Clarence and Flitch. And for Flipside, for me, it was all about Seven and Dennis. But you thought Blame was...
I thought Blame was pretty good last year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously not good enough. They didn't win.
So. No, definitely not. No question about that. I think we can agree there.
All right. Get ready for this execute onto the B site.
The Flipside, they have managed to get control.
Sorry, the A site.
Which does manage to start off with the first kill onto Blame. Felix another one, and it's already not too bad for KOWAI as it turns into a 3v1. Kills going across the board, and Clarence let's finish it off.
Very chaotic there as Clarence finishes off the round with a hand shot.
Yeah, really just a contact play from KOWAI there. You didn't see too many
play. Well, the thing is, all their eggs were in one basket there, right? You could see that they were waiting for the pincer attack to come in. Well, here comes that heavy mid control from KOWAI. That Flipside are all over it. Or I don't know, Seven right across the box from Clarence.
Yeah, Alejo able to chime in with one as well. Again, the trades are favouring KOWAI. They're the ones that are opening these exchanges and also the ones finishing them off. Favor!
Wow.
Almost gets the job done. Very close. They're not close enough, just like your prediction in the last match, Ian.
Yeah, well, the Latin Americans certainly had something to say about that one.
Maybe time for KOWAI to just settle down a little bit. A little bit too eager to finish that round off.
But it was a good strategy nonetheless. KOWAI taking that middle control. Now this time we're going to see the underpass for Flipside as they head down there with 3 players. Ooh, the smoke coming out actually from... I think it was Pablo who threw it and then relocated, but...
Good start for Alejo with the sniper.
Well, the sniper usually dominates that underpass area as well. There's really not much else the sniper can do.
Not on the defensive side, at least. Pablo will get overrun and favor.
Wow, the crossfire just crumbles there.
He had a good round last and didn't quite finish it off, but maybe if he can get those impact kills early in the round, it'll be enough to make the difference. Alejo and Clarence have other ideas, though, and it is just Seven, the experienced man on this Flipside roster, up against Alejo, who so far has not died in this map just yet.
Always the time.
1v1.
You got to die eventually, Jordan.
C4 not in the control of Seven just yet.
Playing it well, though, waiting for the retake to come in. And there you go.
One tap.
Beautiful. One for the captain there. Bit of a captain's knock. He's going to try and rally the troops behind him.
Yep.
And this could be the start of the Flipside campaign right there.
Always good to start off with a round, isn't it? Unless you, well, then you end up like Jacob.
Yeah, exactly.
Not starting off at all.
That was the KOWAI trick last time, but in terms of map wins. So let's see how they go here. They've given up complete control of the map. B with just being watched over by the ever-watchful Pablo. And the rest of the team for Flipside now trying to bait out a bit of utility over towards A. And the rotate, actually, KOWAI trying to read the play a lot here. They're really trying to get on the front foot. Maybe a little bit too much. As we can see, Flipside haven't really committed to anything yet. Still with a fair amount of utility left. Pablo is stuck here. He's trying to watch the cross to B and also the underpass. And if he's just on his own, it could get a little bit dicey. Again, we do have some Flipside action over towards the A site. That's going to keep 2 players there.
Well, this push is exactly what worked for Flipside last time. Pablo, you can see, has got his attention diverted between 2 angles.
Yep.
Never a fun position to be in.
Well, that means they won't have the permanent crossfire between Pablo and Flitch.
Alejo again opening things up, though. It's 7 to go down. Multiple frags for KOWAI this time on the entry. And Flipside haven't made it work. Maybe getting a little too predictable. A couple of frags, though, do go back their way.
Dennis.
Still a chance in here for Flipside, but it's all on to Dice. 1v3. Clarence will shut him down. 6 and 1 for Alejo right now with the sniper rifle, having such a big impact.
That was such a bit of a clumsy round there by Flipside to go directly into middle and then just wait for all the KOWAI players to bear down on them. They were literally surrounded towards the end, and they had no one to blame but themselves, putting themselves in that position. And again, middle control for KOWAI, something that Flipside will have to deal with early. They seem to be aware of it, though. They haven't taken middle as quick as usual. A bomb site looks to be the target for the late round. Nice grenade there out from KOWAI. The double stack behind the box, working our charm once again.
Yeah, Clarence always seems to be solid. He will eventually drop. Dyson 7, all of a sudden.
Oof, how
3
quickly
quick
it turns. Yeah.
And Felix, who hasn't really had to do too much yet for KOWAI, is now tasked with the 1v2.
See, the difference between the way these guys play their clutch situations are they literally just wait, and they're just allowing KOWAI to hang themselves, really, giving them an inch. And then KOWAI do a bit of a runaround. You can see he's found the C4 package on the floor there. And Flipside have allowed that to happen. And now Felix is wondering where they could be.
Where on earth are they?
Yeah.
Still 1:20 on the clock, so
Interesting
a lot of
to
time.
see them split up as well, Jordan. Like, I'm not sure what's going on there. They're very far apart, but now they're sort of hanging together in a way. But the C4 doesn't seem to be the eye on the prize.
Eventually they're going to have to collect it. Felix has a bit of an idea. Gets the headshot onto Dice.
No.
Doesn't sacrifice any HP for it either. Great stuff.
This is what I was worried about, Jordan, when they weren't playing together.
Yeah,
Now it's
find
another
those
1v1s. Yep. Jinx.
7 again tasked with the 1v1. He won the last.
Yeah. Well, this could be a bit more of an ask. I like what he's going for here. He's going for the plan that Felix is going to try and relocate before noticing that the bomb has been picked up.
Well, it's all on the aim battle, and that'll go the way of Felix. Another one on the board for KOWAI.
Wow.
A little distressing, I'm sure, for Flipside.
These two teams just know each other so well. Bomb did get planted. 7 just sitting in that site. Probably needed to wait a little bit longer before revealing himself.
Perhaps. Well, so far so good for KOWAI. No concerns for them at the moment.
Nope. All right, here comes that smoke that's going to allow them to try and take that middle bottleneck. Once they, whoa, geez, as we see there, KOWAI's already pushed up on it, so that smoke's going to be a waste.
Yeah, literally no one on the B side of the map right now for KOWAI, and Flipside, I mean, they've really been putting a lot of premium in mid and toward A.
Saw a little bit of this from Super Valiant last year, if you remember.
Yeah.
Just leaving B completely open. I guess knowing that you could just retake it if need be. Very hard site to defend. But they've rotated across nonetheless.
Well, finally, the opening frag will go the way of Flipside, something that they have been missing in this match for the majority of the rounds. Doesn't mean it's over just yet, though, as KOWAI have been able to dig themselves out of some unfavorable positions thus far.
Felix just over here on A by himself, though, with just a little bit of backup from Flitch, who's obviously hiding behind the box to try and trade. Pablo, a lot of responsibility again, just holding out that middle area. No crossfire, as you would usually see. Flipside taking a lot of time here, really telegraphing the play towards B.
It may still work out for them as there's only one player really right now on the B bomb site. Pablo, you can see, still on the rotate. Might get there in time, but Clarence has to take the challenge here as his teammate falls, and so too does he. It's a 2-for-1 on the entry, and that'll be well enough for Flipside to get in there and get the bomb down. Felix and Flitch to try and make this one work. Great shot from Flitch. 7 goes down. Dyson Blame very low on HP. Still workable for KOWAI.
And you just got to wonder, how do they get an into this bomb site? You've got the tiny alleyway out the back or the huge arch at the front.
1v2 for Flitch here. And it's
not
going to be too easy at all. Not even given the chance. Dennis gets the kill.
Yep. Very difficult retake to make there, especially 1v2. Usually, especially once the Global Risk team gets in there and there's an AWP, or a sniper rather, hiding towards the back of the site, it can be very difficult to retake it on that respect as well. But I've just noticed that really, Flipside have been opting towards the 5 AKs more than anything.
Alejo hasn't had much of an impact in the last couple of rounds. Was 6-1, now 6-3.
But now they've gone defensive on middle as well. They've given up that bottleneck.
This is a nice position for him to be holding.
Yeah. Interesting to see the defense smoke something off. Then leave it for a little bit. Obviously, Flipside not game to walk through it. Very heavy B presence.
Well, Alejo able to get 1, but it's Pablo that finds 2. KOWAI will get 5.
Yeah, they're definitely getting the better of the aim duels at the moment, Jordan. I've got to say.
It seems like madness sometimes in all those battles.
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know, Flipside obviously want to be taking those aim duels, coming up through a bottleneck like middle here. So I guess if you aren't keen on taking the aim duels, like, get a better strategy. But still, here we go. They're going to take on middle, and for once, Clarence will go down without any impact. He's been outstanding so far this game.
I think he might have been flashed a little bit. Flitch is on a expedition.
Yep.
Going to get around behind Flipside. This could be absolutely massive.
Well, it's already good enough in terms of the information he's gathered.
He might just gather a little bit more. Ian Alejo chiming in with a couple. Flitch does go down, but that does not matter. The sniper ringing out across the map, getting 3 kills. And KOWAI again put themselves in a very good position. What a round from Alejo. Up to 4 or 11-4.
Looking a little bit too easy for them at this point.
Yes, it is.
My prediction's probably going down the drain. Just like my credibility. Flipside here, just with the 2 rounds on the board, and they weren't very convincing at that. Middle control forfeited this time from KOWAI. Not game for it. Again, Clarence now left to hold the B site all in his lonesome. Very heavy A presence for KOWAI. And yet Flipside don't really have control of anything. A lot of utility used here towards A. I'd be very surprised if they commit on the back of this. The boost over the box not happening, just going to clear it. Just the 1 sniper at the moment for Alejo.
Why do you need more at this point?
Yep, 11-4.
Into the B site goes Flipside, or at least that's the attempt for now.
No, too late. You're gonna have. There's no way they're gonna commit to this, Jordan.
Well, they are, and they've actually managed to find the opening frag, but Pablo is there for the trade. He'll back away, play the 4v4. In the meanwhile, though, Flitch has been picked off as well.
7.
It looks like Flipside might just get their 3rd round at least to run away with the final one of the half.
It's actually crazy to see teams commit to that B site. Considering how open it is, the cross, you're really leaving a lot open to chance. The retake, there's nothing you can do about it. They can go through the little alleyway that comes out of their spawn. So very lucky to get across, considering how slow they were. But what a first half.
Much better for KOWAI, of course. Alejo, again, the standout for them. Saw some good stuff out from Clarence as well.
Well, you were just bagging him out quietly for a moment there where you were like, oh, he hasn't had any impact for a while.
Well, 2 rounds, he did nothing and died, and then straight away, bam. Comes back in with a 4K. Been pretty smooth going for KOWAI so far.
Interesting, though, to see the very heavy mid control for KOWAI, and then also the complete A stack that happened a couple of times. So see the different play style in effect here when Flipside take over. At defensive side. A lot of work for Flipside to get back into this game.
Yeah, and does KOWAI continue to run the sniper on the attack? We saw it a little early on from Flipside, but then they sort of defaulted back to the 5 rifles, as you said. The only reason right now why Alejo would not want to take the sniper.
A very fast-paced map, I guess, is the reason behind it, because once you commit to a site, you really need to be in it and planning the bomb before the rotate comes in. Not a single execute onto that A site was very successful. Every time they tended to go towards A, it would just so happen to be the same round that KOWAI had made a read and took mid control. So,
well, is 3 enough for Flipside? We'll find out. KOWAI definitely in the better position at the moment. A lot of utility being used right now. I think that's Flipside throwing it all in middle.
Get him off. Yep.
Flipside down to just a few grenades left. KOWAI have barely thrown anything.
Yep. Didn't really get a whole lot for it, did they, Flipside? But they have got a pretty heavy A stack, so they've read it pretty well. And this is what you would usually tend to see. You see 4 players towards the A site with 1 holding the cross towards B. Favor, such a great first half. The beginning of that first half, he was phenomenal for side. Almost winning that 1v4. Leho on his own, no flashbang. Teammate going to pop flash him around that corner. Very dangerous if you remember the ability to get a pick into this A site with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, definitely. This corridor is really something that the attacking side needs to control. Like, KOWAI not ready to fully commit to A just yet. Alejo hasn't found any opening with the sniper.
Flipside still have all their smokes, so that's a good thing for them. Should see them start popping off soon. A minute left on the clock. And here comes the execute from KOWAI.
Well, damage done over to Favor. Info given, though, to Flipside that it is toward the A bomb site. The majority of the forces are being sent. Ablo's got himself a nice spot here. Can deny some of the rotations. Clarence having a look into the site, looking to entry frag. Still does not know that Dice is so close, but somehow he survives. Eventually, Dice will find the frag and doubles down before being traded out himself by Pablo. It's a 2v2. The bomb plant will go down on the A bomb site here for KOWAI.
Maybe.
Oof. 7 catches Alejo. It's a 1v2 now for Pablo. Knows that both players are coming from the same angle. Tries to dance around and does survive for the moment, but needs to get the frags, and he can't. Retake successful, courtesy of Blame. 4th round up for Flipside.
See, now that's the thing. It didn't look that hard, did it, for Flipside to regain control in that round. The attack does seem to be kind of stagnated for KOWAI. Once they did use a lot of their utility early on, and then their ultimate execute into that A site. Obviously, Dice playing a big part in the difficulty of that. But Alejo now already pushed up so far with the sniper. Good grenade there. Gonna do a little bit of damage to 7. Still KOWAI, very slow, a lot more methodical on their attack, but at the same time, Flipside very passive on their defense. Sitting a lot further back than KOWAI were. Alleyway always a point of contention for the global risk side.
Yep.
Remember the clutches we saw from this forklift back in the day, Jordan?
Yeah, I remember Emzen on this map.
I don't remember that wall being there, though. Do you? I thought it was just a forklift out in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, my memory may deceive me. It's done it once or twice before. The execute onto the A site, faked, and the quick rotate towards B will begin for KOWAI. Can Flipside read into the round quick enough? Blame now with a lot of work to do.
But he can get some pretty solid info, spotting out early. Alejo will open up onto 7, and Blame cannot actually mount any kind of a defense. Everyone from Flipside just falling over in that round. KOWAI with another one.
I'll be honest, KOWAI looked the stronger outfit here, especially in those dominating rounds where they just win every single aim duel.
Yep.
Especially where Blame was just putting himself into no man's land to try and defend that.
Yeah, the wide peak.
Site. Yeah, very difficult. Okay, more of the same here from KOWAI. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's like the name of the game is mid-control once again.
Very aggressive defense here from Flipside this round. Trying to hold that choke point. Clarence is checking for a flank. It's not going to come out from Flipside. Patience the key here. Favor very close up in middle. Grenade still ringing out for Flipside. Waiting patiently. KOWAI nowhere near him at the moment though. Are going for that alleyway towards the A site. Again, just leaving 7 to hold B. And Clarence and Alijo. Obviously Alijo trying to get something done on the flank. Here comes the execute. Ooh. And just as we say that, Flipside on the counter attack.
Yeah, it's a complete swap from the last round, isn't it? Flipside this time. The one that's rolling all over KOWAI.
Well, it could be a case of too little too late.
Who knows? Alejo might be able to make something happen here. The sniper rifle has been dangerous, but double peek out from Flipside, flying through the air.
Yep, the flying squirrel attack comes out from Flipside.
Job well done.
Dennis, one of the stars last year. Okay, and just a slither of respect being gained here by Flipside, trying to make this closer as KOWAI have edged closer and closer towards match point.
7-5, it's not over yet, not nearly.
A few passengers on the side of KOWAI at the moment, just on this attacking side. Again, very forward defense here from Flipside. Let's see if they can avoid any trouble. The execute comes in, the flashes don't appear to be that good, but Blame still gets traded out. 1 for 1, not really enough there for Flipside to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, not so much. Just going to split that defense up a little bit. Utility being thrown into middle from KOWAI, but they're not doing anything as a result. 1 for 1, Clarence. A chance here for 2, and he'll get it. And it's a 2v2 now.
7's going to have to step up and go large once again. Dice still just gobbling in that A site, hiding maybe behind the bomb boxes. Gets spotted out. Knows it's a 1v2 situation now. He's wasting a lot of time perfectly. Dice doesn't even need 7's backup, just holds it like a rock. Very solid defense so far from Flipside.
Yeah, very close match.
Could be the comeback from behind. Going for that forward defensive middle again, Flipside. Able to get a pick. He goes for the quick little jab there, but doesn't see anyone and opts to fall back. Maybe a bit of information for KOWAI to use.
Hasn't caught Dice on the timing there. Dice already having crossed.
Flash middle. Going to allow the boys to take it. So here comes the big fight.
Well, Alejo will rejoin as well.
Slightly delayed because it was all smoked off.
Well, smokes won't last forever. KOWAI, neither will their patience.
Oh, could have gone either way. Favor goes down without a fight though. Now that's a real concern.
Puts the numbers advantage in the hands of KOWAI. Not to mention mid-control starting to be really put under pressure for Flipside as well. But neither bomb site has been secured yet by KOWAI. Plenty of time to work with, minute 5. Sending Felix on a bit of an expedition back towards the spawn to make sure that there's no one. A bit of a journey from Flipside.
Crossfire set up and established well and good on the A site. Here comes the forklift once again. The thing is, 7 is so far away from this attack. Asking a lot of blame here now, needs to delay a little bit longer.
His position well and truly known. Alejo starting to pressure in toward the A site, but will not be able to get the job done. Clarence does fall to blame. A very strong defense on the side. Alejo still has been unable to find that frag.
Blame going
Time
nuts.
is running out. Gets the headshot. No, not the headshot, just the kill with the pistol.
7's going to go for the full flank on the alleyway. Might be fairly obvious given that he hasn't been here earlier to help blame.
Oh, I think he just got spotted.
Did he?
Yeah, Alejo spotted him out but didn't land the shot. And 7 gets the job done. Goodness me.
The captain really doing a lot of work here for Flipside.
Yeah, multiple clutches.
Oh, bit of contention. Do it better next time, boys.
Yeah, don't leave it all to me.
Yeah, you only get so many chances. 7 apiece now. Okay, as we're smoking them off, boys. Forward attack for Flipside again towards that middle. Going to hold off the choke point. Double crossfire for either side. 2 players in A as well. Alejo unable to get anything done that last round towards the end. Then he was able to get the bomb down, but that's as far as it went. He needs to have more impact opening up the rounds. Flitch going to check for a flank. Here comes the set, execute into middle. See if Flipside can delay it a little bit more with smoke grenades. Dennis and Favor, 2 of the star players for Flipside.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much toward B yet from KOWAI. Maybe time to start throwing a spanner in the works as
Dennis gets on the board.
At the moment does not seem to be working. Favor and Dennis 1 apiece. Blame chiming in as well. Everyone is part of the party for Flipside. But Clarence is looking dangerous, looking for the ace in the round as well. Has 3 already, 2 to find.
One of those Clarence rounds. Let's see if he can do it. 1 versus 2.
Dice is very low.
True. Could just sit here behind a box. Crossfire for Dennis, who has just got his first kill for the game, or for the half, rather.
Players in the A
Did he
side.
spot him out?
I don't think he saw him.
A minute left on the clock. Has to retrieve the C4. Okay, he's got that now. Will he attempt the walk into A? Did he spot out the player there?
Surely he did.
Yeah, surely. The run is on now. He knows. Oh, no. Flipside. You've let him past. The bomb will go down. The retake. Can they do it together, or will it be a case of one baiting for the other?
Where does he play for the retake here as well?
Oh, then remember this.
It's behind the boxes.
The gap in the boxes.
Easy to get info. Has spotted
Okay,
one out.
One across. Dennis baiting dice.
Dennis will get the job done himself. No worries at all there for Flipside. A couple of low HP players, but enough. And now Flipside will be in the lead.
Talk about crosshair. No? Come on, man. All right.
No credit.
Here we go. The heat is on.
Yeah, the comeback is real for Flipside now. KOWAI not making it work
Yep.
in the second half.
An underpass play fast for KOWAI. We haven't seen one of those yet from them. 7 with a lot of responsibility. It's going to be 7 versus Alejo. Pablo there for the bait and switch. Where's that crossfire on the tunnel? That's what we need. The rotate comes out of A. Could be just enough time for Flitch to get something happening.
Yeah, it's if Flitch can make something happen here, really opens the door for the rest of his teammates, but otherwise he'll probably have no impact on the round.
7. Gonna fall, but gets 1 for his trouble. That's good work.
Isn't enough trade from Alejo.
Yeah, they have to be careful now. That whole middle area is completely dark for them. KOWAI are going to fall back and head towards middle. They still have the C4, so they can go either side. Alejo now falling back to group up with the rest of the crew. Favor obviously also has the B bomb site on lockdown, so a minute left on the clock. Huge shot from Alejo there.
Yeah,
Nearly
Dennis
gets another through the smoke.
He's looking for some info there, but
Here
doesn't
comes.
get the info he wants.
This will be the pressure on Favor, I think.
The blame is going to relieve some of that. Favor another.
No!
It's going well for Flipside, but then again, KOWAI almost come back in. Flipside just enough.
The kill through the box towards the end. When they lined up there, I thought that was their guts for garters.
1 round away now for Flipside.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
My name's not Jeff. It's been a close map so far, that is for sure.
Hard to believe.
Well, Flipside looks like they have got the momentum now, and I don't know that they're going to allow KOWAI to come back into this.
I wouldn't.
Not now.
Okay, that forward mid control again for Flipside has been so successful for them. Draining a lot of utility out of KOWAI. KOWAI on the back foot here. They haven't been able to get a whole lot done. It's been a 2-man show, to be honest. Clarence and Alejo.
Yep. It's again in toward middle for KOWAI. This time, no defense there from Flipside.
They almost look a little bit lost, don't they? Like, well, we've got mid control for once.
Walking around the angles, looking in toward middle. A little dangerous. Flipside well aware of what's going on right now in middle. Grenades being thrown into A, but Flipside don't seem under any pressure at all at this point.
Just
not being forced to move.
Just a fake execute from KOWAI, trying to bait out players. And here comes the cross to B. This could be devastating for Flipside, actually. They do have 2 players hidden up the back of the site, though. You don't usually see this. Could cause an instant rotate here. Nice flashbang from Blame. Spotted out a couple of the players now. Normal programming can resume.
Well, Blame and maybe a bit overeager that time.
Yep.
Which will get the better of him. Dennis is still in a nice spot here, but can't get the trade. KOWAI, they're making it interesting. They find a few more. It's just 7. They weren't expecting him from that angle, and he's going to step up, finding 2. And again, 7 puts himself into a 1v1. He's been super solid in these clutches and gets it done. Flipside win again. And now the map is done and dusted. 7 is very pleased with himself, as can be expected.
Yeah,
he was certainly the standout, I thought, for Flipside.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say, really? I mean, Flipside just looked the better half. On the defensive side, it was too easy.
Well, gentlemen, as we come back to the desk, what a surprise. Flipside starting off very slow, but as soon as they got on the defense, it was an entirely different story, an entirely different team, and, oh, they brought it back. 7 in the end there. Did he pick up 3?
Yep.
It's a 3v1, and he brings it back. That was like almost half his frags for the second half as well. So
that
in
position he was in is not a spot you would normally find someone late in the round, and that was the genius behind the double stack with him and Blame. Usually you do send the sniper to hold the B site through the cracks in the boxes, but that double stack, I knew as soon as I saw it, it was going to be a charm. But when the rest of the team rotated over a little bit too early, there was a bit of cause for concern. Every sort of Flipside round was hanging on edge every time. So pretty crazy way to end the game. 2 1v1s.
It wasn't the only clutch that 7 was able to get there as well. In the first half, he was very, very good as well, picking up a couple of the rounds that I guess Flipside in the end needed. We were questioning, was 6-3 going to be enough? It turns out it was. If it was maybe 7-2, maybe that wouldn't have been quite enough for them.
Well, they certainly were impressive when it came to swap sides. They're going to be heading across up against Q9. We know that because Q9 have automatically gone through. On the other side of things, for KOWAI, they automatically win their lower bracket game, and they will go up against the loser of Q9 and Flipside. So, look, if they were to go up against Flipside again, you know, I don't think that's that bad. They looked promising for quite a period of that game. It was just in the end they struggled.
The thing is, it's a tale of 2 sides, isn't it? And one of their sides just wasn't good enough. Really wasn't. Their attacking side, they didn't have any answers to what Flipside was showing them. And I just think if they were to verse each other again, you're going to have to see more than just Clarence and Alijo doing all the work. It honestly did seem that way. Felix wasn't up to much. Flitch wasn't doing anything. So for me, it's going to need to be a lot more of a team effort, and they need to have some sort of weakness that they can continually exploit, because it looked like they ran out of ideas very early on.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Jordan, when we talk about MVP, obviously when it came to the defensive side, Blame was very strong for Flipside. If you put the 2 halves together, do you think he gets MVP, or do you give it to someone else?
I think I give it to 7. I don't know what Ian reckons, but to me that seems like the obvious choice.
I would say 7, but who knows?
Guess we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Blame had a good score in the second half.
Sure, right, but
the leadership. You're big about the leaders, Ian.
Yeah, exactly.
As a leader yourself, when you play competitively.
In and out of the game. But the thing is, with 7, he as the captain, and maybe with some new kids on the block, you know, it's his job to lead from the front. And when we talk about MVP, it's not the best stats of the game player, it's the most valuable player. And whether he has the most kills or not doesn't mean that what he did was the most valuable thing.
He definitely had the most impactful rounds.
Yep.
You know, I think you could put 2 or 3 of the rounds that Flipside
on
actually
his back.
won.
On his back.
Just down to 7, being able to clutch it out or being in the right position at the right time and finding the impact frag. So for me, it has to go to.
And he's
7.
telling everyone what to do. You know,
which is you know, sometimes as the order, as you know, when you're in charge. It's your game that suffers, right? That's a pretty big thing. Not only often do you see people take roles that necessarily don't suit them as much to make everyone happy, but you're the one coming out. And it's going to go to Blame. Let's look. I can't always be right.
Can't blame you for that decision, but he did have some incredible stats. He did have some incredible rounds. But, you know, it's hard to find an MVP in Flipside because across the board, Dice had some really awesome impact rounds holding that A site by himself. Flavor, we saw in the middle, he was able to get 2 or 3 kills all on his own. So for me, yeah, I mean, look, Blame was definitely doing a lot of work on the offensive side, but when it came to the CT, for me, it was all about Zevon.
Well, they did a pretty good job, and Flipside are going to make their way through to that upper bracket final against Q9 a little bit later on. For now, a very quick break, and we call back more Crossfire action. See you soon.